everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
Hello, my name is Z Garcia, and welcome y'all to our top 10.
Yeah, so we're doing a top 10 this time for the first time ever. We're doing it remotely.
That's right, Tom. I mean, I've wanted to for so long.
So a couple things here for those of you who are joining us. This is going to be probably a shorter top 10 because there's only two of us, and we're not here necessarily to rip each other's bad picks apart. The second thing is we picked a list that we've been asked for a lot, and so this is games you can play remotely. So a couple caveats here. We're excluding currently games you can play on an app or on Steam or on Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator because you can do those. What are the best games in those?
Go ahead. I don't know what are the best games in that.
No, I'm saying I couldn't even tell you what the best games in those are. But
we are saying tabletop. This has to be like games on a physical table with a camera set up, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we're talking about.
Sure, where one or possibly multiple people need to own a copy of the game, and we'll talk about that through each of our picks.
That's right.
I will be very clear. I am using my best judgment on these. I've not done all of these because, well, this is new for all of us, right?
Right.
But I'm pretty sure some of these I have played with the internet, so I know that they work because I had the board and I play with people. What about you?
Yeah, this is, again, I feel the same way, and I'll be also mentioning when I would assume you need multiple copies and when I think you can get away with just having one person sort of run the game. I also tried to pick different styles of games, party games and strategic games and two-player games and multiplayer games, just to mix it up, just to give you a sort of as best as I can, a range of content that you can choose to pick from. Certainly, some types of games lend themselves to being played remotely more than others, as I'm sure we'll talk about. Some games are very obviously good for this.
And also, again, you can, some people already mentioned in the comments they were hoping to see the Tabletop Simulator, Tabletopia. Again, there's a list of those games there that you can do, and right. I'm just not qualified to do that. Maybe some other people in the Dice Tower will make a top 10 list on that subject, but I would just be making stuff up. I would say, well, I've played, I think, like 4 games. I'd be like, well, Hearthstone's good, Robinson Crusoe I played one time, and I don't want to do that sort of thing. So. Right. We're going to explain how we would do it, and at the end, if you guys have suggestions or things, we'll mention them, throw them out there, So, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I did have this. So here's what I think: the best games to do this with, easily, is RPGs, role-playing games. I think because most of the information is said in a role-playing game.
Sure,
there's some things that are shown, but when it comes to board games. Cooperative games with perfect information, or at least the players are not hiding stuff from each other. Many roll and write games.
Yep, that's the one.
Abstract strategy games.
Yeah,
can work this way, and some party games.
That's right.
I think
pretty much my list.
Well, I tried to shake my list up and have stuff because I'll mention it when I get to each category. I try not to have too many from any one category.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did the same thing.
All righty. Well, who's first? I don't even remember. I think you're first. I don't know. Who's first?
Number 10.
My producer says that Z's first.
I got wait, news coming in, folks. All right, I am first. All right, my number 10. You are going to want everybody to have a copy of this roll and write because of the nature of the roll and write. You cannot very easily scan a sheet of paper and send it to the other players. You're each going to want to own this, but then have one player running the core of the game, and that is a game called On Tour. On Tour is a game in which you are touring the the country, the U.S., putting on shows with your musical act. And so one player will be able to reveal the cards, to roll dice, and then everybody else can decide where they're putting those numbers from the die roll and the way they want to try to connect their way through that tour. You must have the numbers going up, but you can skip cities, you can skip stops, and ultimately you're trying to make it to the most stops along the tour and get the most victory points. It's interesting. It's kind of a thinky roll and write. It's you have to be sort of spatially minded to really get into it and enjoy the way you have to plan out the route. And oftentimes you are setting yourself up different opportunities that start to shut down as numbers come in or don't come in. And so you're like, okay, no longer going that way. I'm making a hard left over here. I'm going to follow this path. And then one of these two will be my way out of that corner of the country. Really enjoy this one. Really fun and great production value. So try it online if you've got a copy. Set a group up and give it a shot. I think this would work really well.
So my first, I can't say a whole lot. That's one of the ones that I haven't played yet. I would like to, and maybe in the next month or so, I will play it.
Well, here's what I'll do, Tom. I'm going to take a board from it, and I'm going to leave it outside on the curb. And you just drive by.
That's true. Up. You don't need the game. You just need to give everybody a board.
That's right.
You can mail them a board, I suppose. Alrighty. My number 10 is the only, I think, straight up, well, never mind. It's a cooperative game. And so I really struggled with this one here because I was trying to think of a good cooperative game to put on the list. And the very first one that came to my mind was Pandemic. Except that I have to be honest, for myself, just personally, I don't feel like playing Pandemic right now. But what I did was I put on Pandemic Cthulhu. So this is the Pandemic variant that I have played. And this one, only one person needs the game. They can set the whole game up and you just watch because you can play with the cards open.
Mm-hmm.
That's considered to be the easiest level, but I've always played Pandemic that way, even on the harder levels, because if you could just tell people what's in your hand, then why not just show people?
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was a weird rule of Pandemic. I can't show you that I have 3 red cards, but I can literally just read them to you. Right. So what's the difference? Do you play with closed hands in Pandemic?
I do. Sometimes I do. I do like the communication. I think it's another way to throw up a barrier between players talking with each other and players talking at each other.
Okay, that's true. But in a remote setting, it's okay.
You can just
say,
mute
here's your
them.
cards, here's my cards. The one guy sitting there, he's being an alpha gamer, and no one could hear him. And you're like, what? What? What's that, Bob? You can't hear him.
That's right. This is a good pick. I tried to avoid games that would have a really big footprint, and this one, unfortunately, because of the fact that you need displayed hands, let's sort of spread out. It's a big table. Like, you need a camera fairly far away from the table to see everything. I'm worried about losing detail of where you can go. I would definitely say of the Pandemic games, you're right, this is the best one to play remotely. There's the fewest locations on the board in this one.
Yes. Right?
You knew that, of course. And
this is exactly my reasoning.
And the cards
why else did I pick this?
The cards are also only colors. They don't have a place.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, kudos to you. Very well done.
I thought that through. By the way, there's like a tangent here in a sense of saying that someone said Tom's afraid to play Pandemic, but he'll play Cthulhu Destroying the World. I feel like one of those things isn't happening right now.
Yeah, come on, folks. Yeah.
And at the same time, I don't care if you do. That doesn't bother me, right? It's not even that big of a deal. If someone said, let's play Pandemic, I'd be like, I guess. It's just that I'm not necessarily in the mood to bring that one out. That's all.
Yes. All right.
Number 9.
Alrighty, my number 9 is one of those bingo style games where everybody will need to have their own copy of the game, but just one person calling out the thing for everyone to pick. I went with Karuba for this one. So everybody needs
Jamaica. Sorry.
Ooh, I wanna pull out the token and call it. Everybody place it. And that's it. You just need one board. You need the tokens organized. You need the one person, grabbing one randomly. I don't know why I'm going like this. There is no bag, but you can provide a bag. You pull it out. You say, okay, 19. Everybody place your 19, and everyone does that, and then you move on. And folks will just pretty much just compare scores at the end of the game. That's largely it. Definitely not a lot of interaction, obviously, because of the style of game it is. But it also can play, really whatever number you want to, except for the fact that after, let's say, 8 people, you're pretty much going to start running into ties. The game, I don't know exactly what it caps out at, but you could play with 100, but assume, of course, that the scores won't be, there's simply not that much spread where, you'll have a single certain winner. But it's a fun one. It's very simple. I've played this with a nice age group spread as well. So you could have, grandparents playing with you, playing with kids, playing with teenagers. So everybody can be on an evil, on a evil. I don't know what's it, on a level playing.
You're still in a Cthulhu thing here.
I meant to say level playing, and I said evil. I don't know why. So there you go. That is Karuba.
Alrighty. Yeah, I almost picked Adventureland, which is came out the same time as Karuba from the same company. I didn't because I think it's harder to find. All right, my number 9 has 2 different names in German and English. Depends which copy you get, and it's That's So Clever or Ganz schön clever. This is a roll and write game, and this one, you don't need the game, you just need a sheet for the game. One person can roll the dice for everybody. You put them on the screen, and then the person whose turn it is can say, I'm choosing this die, this die, this die, whatever, and everyone else picks the other dice. You can go online, probably find the sheets for the game and print them out. I'm sure if not, you can just send a picture of the sheet to other people who are playing the game with you. But this, I only put 2 of the roll and write category. I could have just did a top 10 on those probably. But I wanted to give different kinds of things that you can do. And That's So Clever is one of there's many of the roll and writes, like one of my favorites is Boomerang, but you can't do that one because there's drafting involved. So I had to think at, what's one where all the information's out there and open, and That's So Clever is a really good one in that regard.
Yeah,
so that's my number 9.
I also have 2 roll and writes on my list, and we'll get to the other one soon. But I tried to do the same thing. It's easy to do. The roll and writes are just lend themselves extremely well to playing remotely.
Yeah, but it's fun, and there's also a sequel to it called Twice as Clever. Honestly, you can get Twice as Clever or That's So Clever. They're literally almost the same game with very minor differences, mostly in scoring between the two. You don't need to have played one to enjoy the other. I don't know that I would say one is better than the other. Just, I guess if you have one that Twice as Clever, you can feel better than the person who's just not, they're only half as clever. Is that the next? That's the third one in the series.
Half as clever.
So it's a micro game. All right, so my number 9, That's So Clever.
Number 8.
All right, my number 8, I think is a pick that's pretty outside the box, and I think this would work. You definitely need each player to own some of this game, at least, and that game is unmatched. You need to have one player who has the board and the pieces and their deck, and the other player just needs the deck of cards. And you can play against each other as long as you, being the remote player, tell the other player where to move you. But as long as you are being honest with your card draws and simultaneous selection, you can play. No?
I keep drawing the same card.
Look
okay,
at that,
listen, though.
another plus 10.
You actually don't even need to have the same thing. So, for example, if you had unmatched and I Bruce Lee, I could say just stick a marble on the board. That's Bruce Lee.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess you could.
So
do
we could own 2 different unmatched, and we could still play together.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. This technically
Huh.
plays up to 4, but I don't know if I would try that. That might get a little messy. But 2 players, I think this would work. So that was an idea that I thought would be neat to explore.
That's a good idea. At first, I thought that was ridiculous, but that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my number 8. Give it a try, folks. Unmatched.
My number 8, one person needs a copy of the game. I think other people could do some stuff with writing things down, I suppose. And that is the 2nd edition, the new version of Camel Up. Now, yes, the one person is going to have to do a lot of stuff on the board. They're going to be the ones rolling the dice. They're going to be the ones moving the camels and stuff. And they're going to have to they'll take the tiles off, and you just have to remember which tiles you took. And, you keep track of your own points and tiles. But it's still a very spectator-type game. You could watch the person roll and be like, come on, green die! I think it would work. When I play Camel Up, I'm doing, all that work anyway.
Yeah. That sounds pretty complicated. Yeah. I don't know. That sounds like
so.
quite
I think
a
I
bit.
could do it.
Yeah.
Because
I guess as long
Camel Up
as
is
you are...
spectators.
Would you, as the one running the game, just denote a section of the table that would be Z's area of the table? So if I make a bid for a camel to come in first, say you just take the token and place it in that area for me?
I don't think you even need to do that. You just need to take the token off. You would keep track of which ones you took. So when the green wins, that's like, what did you take? And you say, I took the 5 and the 2. Okay, great. So you get 7 coins. You could keep track of that yourself.
But you need to... No, the bidding tiles get worse. Right?
I know. I'm saying I take the bidding tile off. So if there's a bidding 5 on top, and say you're playing and I have it, you're like, I'm taking the green 5. I'm like, all right, so I just take it off. Whatever, I just stick it somewhere. And then you write down green 5 on your paper.
I don't want to.
Oh, but you can play unmatched? Come on now.
I am worried. This one worries me a bit with the upkeep, the cyclical nature of the rounds. But it should be doable. Again, you need a camera that's fairly far away is the only thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, this was the biggest and most grandiose thing on my list.
The most daring pick.
You can't argue with any of my others.
All right. No, I think, if you can pull it off, that's quite a feat, because it's a lot of, there's a lot of pieces in Camel Up, a lot of going on.
Sure, but okay, well, I don't know. I think this would work. Shut up. Go to number 8, Roy. 7, I mean.
Number 7.
1.
All right. My number 7 is foolproof. Unlike some other people's picks. No, my number 7 is my second roll and write, and this one is quite new, called Trails of Tucana. In this one, again, you need to just make sure everybody...
New.
Yeah, it's very new. Everybody needs to have just a sheet of, again, you can send them a picture, you can find it online, whatever. And then just one person is shuffling the deck of cards, revealing 2 cards each round, showing them to everybody on the camera. That's really all you need to know. And then as folks are doing things, they'll let you know, okay, I just completed this connection between Village A and Village A over here. Give me that bonus. Just move it away. And they can write it down. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. Again, this is easy. The roll and writes are easy. And in this one, you're not even missing out on the tactile nature of rolling your own dice or anything. You wouldn't be doing that stuff anyway. It literally is one player flipping over 2 cards twice through a deck. That's it. So I think this translates of the picks I have here. It's probably one of the closest ones that is from what you would be doing sitting at the table with other people to what you end up doing remotely. Is probably the closest. It's really barely any different. So there you go. That is my number 7, Trails of Tucana.
My number 7, one person needs a copy of the game, although you could easily play with multiple people. And if only one person has it, that person needs to be Eric Summerer or someone like Eric Summerer. And that is about the cheatingest I got, because I didn't put RPGs in the list, but I did put Legacy of Dragonholt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one person could read everything, because that's essentially what the game is. You keep track of your stats, and if you get a card, but it's very, very minor. Your stats and things like that. You can just send everyone a copy of the sheet. They keep track of their stuff. And one person could just read from the adventure books. It's basically a big choose-your-own-adventure. And in fact, I could have put multiple choose-your-own-adventure games in here, like the actual choose-your-own-adventure games would also work in this regard. Because one person, you could show everyone the card. You could even, in choose-your-own-adventure, put the card on camera.
Right.
But Legacy of Dragonholt, me and Z, we liked it, but one of our complaints was there's a lot of text in it, right?
Yeah.
At this point in time, folks, you got time to listen to that text. So I think it works really well right now.
Yeah, the only iffy part is when you are in town, you have to see the map, but you could just have the one player tell you like, oh, well, the village is, this looks like this. There's a tavern here, or just show a picture of that.
Sure, you could just share a picture of people with the map.
I think this is a good pick. I think that's all you need is just a picture of what the board, the town looks like, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And that information, those printouts are actually available on their website. So you can get more, the one that comes in the back of the rule book. You can just print out more of those, run your own character, and you're good to go. Yeah.
He said it was
cool.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby.
All right.
Number 6.
All right. My number 6 is because I wanted to pick a card game. And it's very hard to do card games remotely, right? It's just tricky. If you are, everybody could have their own deck of cards, but then you'd have to be like removing from your deck whatever's missing from the other person's. So what I did was pick a game in which, it's a card game. You're just using a deck of cards, but there is no hand. The cards go directly from the game to the table. So that's why we're pausing.
All right. We're back. So, and that is why I hate you, Z. All right. I'm not going to go through it again.
I think I read you loud and clear.
All right. So my number 6 is Concept, and I'm starting to see. Are we back yet? Yeah, folks, can we tell? It's still down. It's back. It's down. It's back. I don't think they saw yours number 6 at all, folks.
How are we doing? What's happening?
Well, it says we're back. All right, so Z, repeat your number 6 in case people missed it.
All right, I'll give you the quick and dirty version. Colorado is my number 6 pick.
Sucks. Okay, my number 6.
You actually, it seemed like you agreed with me when you heard me say it.
No, it's interesting because this is the second time that Colorado's come up on a top 10 or lately. Someone else, I think it was Eric, just mentioned Colorado, and it's like having a resurgence of people talking about it.
I think it just fits the way we're talking about. A single player needs a copy. They will deal with all the card management. Players don't need a hand of cards. Everything goes to the table. That's it. Set collection game. Colorado. Good stuff.
Yeah, people actually did not hear you. So anyway, Colorado's a great little card game that would work well. And then I said Concept because you can put Concept down. It's 20 questions with pictures back and forth.
Right.
So Z's number 6, Colorado. My number 6, Concept. All right, I think we got through number 6 now. Hurry, Roy.
Number 5.
right, my number 5 is an abstract game for 2 players. You really just need one person to have this, but you could you could do it with both of you having it if you wanted to. This is Hive, my number 5. That rhymed. I'm sublime. Shut up, Tom. All right, at my number 5 here, one thing you just need to do is basically, again, communicate with one another. Now, you could do that just by telling someone, okay, put my mosquito into play between this piece and that piece. You could do that, but what I would recommend and what I made, just took a few minutes and made for myself, I'll have Roy show you here, is a little grid, a little hexagonal grid that you can just letter a number, and then you use that on the table, print that out, use that on the table, so that your opponent, the one without the game physically, can just say, move this piece to E5. Done. Move it to E5. There's a few different ways you could do this for yourself, but something like this would work. And then if you notice a pattern there, you can even go outside the pattern and just keep the numerical convention, alphanumerical convention in place. So yeah, Hive is a good one. That's my number 5.
All right, my number 5 works. It's very similar to my Legacy of Dragonholt pick, where if one person has it, they can do it. If multiple people have it, you could all play together, because it's going to do it. I don't know actually how it would work if multiple people played it. So let me rephrase that. It's Chronicles of Crime. Because Chronicles of Crime, you only need to see all the stuff. You can put it on a table and people look at it. And then one person can scan everything and read what happens.
Okay.
I was going to say multiple people could scan stuff, but I think events happen in the background. And if you scan, the time might run differently depending on how you scan stuff.
Right. You might not want to do that, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe just have one person do it. But one person could easily do it. They can tell you what happens. They can read it. You'd want the best storyteller to do it. And I think, this game works really well with a few players anyway. So I don't know that I play with a ton of players. But if you're into it for the story, you can jump into Chronicles of Crime, I think, pretty easily.
What about when someone's supposed to look around a crime scene?
It would have to be the person.
It would have to be the person, and then they describe to the other player what they saw. They just unfortunately always take over for that.
I forgot about that part, Z.
I know, that's okay. So fix it, right? I mean, that's the thing. If you
wait. It says, never mind. Someone just said, for crime scenes, mirror your phone to your laptop, screen share, or video chat.
Whoa, that's hardcore.
Woo!
That person just needs to go solve real crimes.
Thank you, Julia. That's what I meant, Z.
Oh, that's what you meant. Of course. I know with your...
This, even if it doesn't seem like I did. Chronicles of Crime on number 5. My last 4, there's no question they work.
Well, you have a very well-known background in IT, so I figured that's what you meant. Yeah.
All right.
Number 4.
All right, my number 4 is it's also an abstract game for 2 players. This one has a bit of a theme. This is a game called Longhorn, in which you are going to be moving around a series of tiles that have longhorns on them, and you are collecting those moo cows, putting them in front of you. If you empty a tile of all the cows there, these cows come in 3 colors, by the way. You also trigger a special ability. Very simple, short game. You'll definitely be able to get multiple sessions of this in which at the end of that collection, once someone can no longer move, then you are going to score the cows in front of you. Each one is worth the number of cows of that color left in the center. So if you empty out something truly completely, they're worthless. You don't want to do that. You want to leave a decent amount, take a decent amount. I like it. It's clever, really pretty artwork, Vincent Dutrait artwork, and you really don't need a whole lot of space on the table even. Camera not that far away, pointing at everything. You can quickly tell each other what you want to do. And that's it. This is if you have a copy of this is probably one of the more easy peasy ones to attempt to do this with, honestly. So that's partly why it's on the list, because it's so simple to do this. There you go,
Actually,
Longhorn.
I didn't think about Longhorn. I had considered briefly Five Tribes, and I was like, nah, it's just too complex.
Mm-hmm.
Longhorn is a simplified version of that to some degree.
Sure. Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
All right, my number 4 is a game that could work with a lot of players, and only one person needs a copy of the game, although each player may, again, want to keep track of their own score, and that is Ink and Gold, or Diamant.
Mm-hmm.
In this game, one person would have the board, and you're flipping cards over, showing how far you go into the cavern. And then each other player will simultaneously pick whether they're going to go or not go. You can quick do your thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. You make the symbols that you're going to do for that. And then you'll split the treasure between the people who stay in. People who run out get to keep their treasure. So you have to keep track of your own score. I guess the person in charge could keep track of everyone's scores, but whatever. I know this one would work well because I've played it in classrooms before where I would run it at the front of the classroom and kids were doing things in the back. They were all running it together. You could technically run it. You could even modify the cards and make it run with 20 players probably. But I think 7 players is a good number to play with. And I really like this one. This is one where you can flip it over and everyone kind of gasps and you're just having fun along with each other.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Very easy to do. Nice.
So that is Ink and Gold, or Diamant. Same exact game.
Number 3.
All right, my number 3 pick is a crossover with Tom, which he just said. Diamant is my number 3.
That's why you were so quiet during that one. I was like,
I was being coy. I agree with everything you said. I think you're right.
I thought I found one that you would think of.
You found several I would not think of. Believe me, there are plenty of them you have.
Nothing you can say can be meaner than the comments have been. So don't worry about it.
Well, I try to think of myself as a great equalizer. So I'll start bringing you back up then, Tom, if you're getting hate. I think your picks have been wonderful. You really know your stuff.
Shut up!
No, I think I agree with everything you said about Diamant. The thumbs up, thumbs down would be very easy to do. You can quickly scan everybody. If you have a group chat going on. Keeping track of your own score would be really easy. You're just running tally. That's it. You tell folks how much is in there to be divvied up right before they decide to keep going or run out. That's it. I mean, so simple. This one is just like I thought that Longhorn would be a really quick, simple one, like one of the first ones I would try with 2 players. Diamant would be absolutely one of the first ones I would try with a group because it's so straightforward, So, yeah, good pick. And it's also my number 3, Diamant.
Okay, you keep saying good pick about your own stuff.
Well, I said good pick for you. Good pick because you picked it.
Oh, okay.
It's a good pick, and it's also my number 3.
My number 3 is my second roll and write, last roll and write. And this is one I think would work well because, again, I know this one works since it's run at conventions with 100 people or so, and that's Welcome To. It's actually a flip and write game. And one person will...
Flip and write.
I know. Every time I say that, I don't want to play no flip and write game. Anyway, one person flips the cards over, everyone else uses those and information to fill out their sheets. And you can download the sheets. In fact, I want to say Welcome To has made some sheets available online for sure. So I really like this one. This one works well with big groups and is a good one to play in a large crowd. And I know this because it's been done. So my number 3, Welcome To.
Number 2.
Oh, it's not Frozen, said people. Play it!
Is it back to us already? Well, I'm going to do this then. All right, my number 2 is a party game.
A quick aside here, folks. This is not Roy messing this up. Our internet's really slow because every school chat in the world is currently on streaming classes.
Yeah, no, we got a good team behind the scenes here, but it's just this is all technical stuff, not human error. Except for some of those picks on Tom's list. Zing!
No, that's from the internet also. I actually said a different game, but because of the jumping, it took pieces out.
That's what it is. My number 6 pick is 5 tribes. That's what it is. Yeah.
Roy will edit later on.
Yeah. All right. No, my number 2 pick is a game called Plucking Pears.
What a good choice.
Plucking Pears is very simple. You're gonna flip over 11 cards. You put them out on the table. Everyone literally just needs pencil and paper, and they're all going to look at the 11 cards. They're gonna make 5 pairs and leave one odd one out. And then you compare that information. Now, if everybody got the exact same pair you got, too obvious, no points. If nobody got the pair you got, way too esoteric, no points. Otherwise, you score some points for each pair. You score some points if you have the same odd one out as other people. And that's it. That's technically a full game. You probably will not play one game of this. You'll do it, again. You'll do it a few times. But yeah, very simple. Again, light, silly party game. You can sort of be quiet for about a minute and then chat for a while in this game. And
I remember playing this with you. I think the first time we both played it was together. We were in the same group.
Probably, yeah.
That is one of the most funny games I've ever played.
Yeah.
There was so much yelling back and forth at each other. You're like, how could you put those two things together and be like, well, blue? And you're like, well, that card's blue. Well, that guy has a blue button on his shirt. Like that doesn't make them go together. It's really funny.
So that's what I'm hoping for, right? That you'll have, people just kind of chatting afterwards. And I think even as a happy accident, I could even see some people going, well, I put this and this together because this guy's wearing a colorful bow tie, and someone going, I didn't see a bow tie. Show me that again. What bow tie? Oh, there is a bow tie. So like limitations, I think, could be sources of humor in this game, which is neat. You just sort of lean into it. So that's my number 2 pick, Plucking Pears. No, not 5 tribes, Roy. Plucking Pears.
My number 2 is one I know a lot of people are playing on the internet right now, and that is one of the many versions. I'm just going to pick the base version of Codenames. Okay. You'll have to do some things like the card that is that shows you where everything goes. You'll have to share that with one other person only, rather than, so both of you could just send a picture of it to the other person. You could both put that on your phone, and then you have the grid of cards on camera, and that's all you need for the game.
Yeah.
And then one person who has the grid of cards will put the stuff on them. That person would probably have to be one of the two guessers. It doesn't even have to be. I just say put a red marker on that. It doesn't have to be one of the people giving clues. But I know this one would work really well because it is. And this is 2 versus 2, team versus team, and whatever version of Codenames you might want to play.
Yeah. So that's a good pick.
That's my number 2, Codenames.
And finally, number 1.
My number 1 pick, I thought just had to be the one I was going to pick because it makes the most sense. It's very easy to play this one. So just 1 is my number 1.
Yeah, okay, come on. I knew that was yours as soon as you started talking, so whatever.
Second party game, if I guess you count just Plucking Pears and just one as party games. Diamant is kind of a party game. This one's very easy as well. The only thing you need to concern yourself with is, and you only need 1 copy, by the way. Everybody else just, again, needs paper. You do need to do a little bit of selective looking and hiding from the view momentarily, right? So you need to do the whole like, okay, well, if you're the one who owns the game, you'll look at, grab the card and just not look, just show it to the camera, the card, and not look at it while everybody else sees it and they write their own thing. And then you'll also need to not look while they show each other the answers. If any of them cross, you will not see those. And then you get to see all their information and just to sort of try to decipher it.
Sure, but that's just like real life. Just close your eyes.
Yes, absolutely. You need to make sure you're holding up something to the camera that is visible to whoever it needs to be visible to, et cetera, et cetera. That's it. It's really.
It might work better. It might work better online. Because in person, I'm like, can you turn your thing so I can see it? Online, everyone is facing me.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very straightforward. This would be tremendously easy, and honestly, I think it's one of the very best party games that's come out in the last few years. So, Just One is my number one pick. Try it.
All right, my number one is my abstract strategy. Can you guess it?
Is it? I know you love that tile flipping one. Is that it?
The Duke?
Yeah.
No, I want to pick an easier one where all the information's out there, and that would just be
then it's going to be Onitama.
Yeah. Onitama, same thing with, you mentioned you could put numbers down. Although with Onitama, I think it's
much easier.
It's even easier to say what you're going to do with the various things. And again, I know I've played this one versus the internet, online. I know it works well. It's a simple game. You just say, everything is right there. There's no hidden information. I'm going to use the Phoenix card to move that piece, and I'll move it to the left, right. I mean, you don't even have to write the grid down. You could just say, yes, move it that way. So that was my number one pick. I thought it was a pretty easy pick for me.
Okay.
Now, Just One was definitely in my short list, and I really considered putting it on. Mm-hmm. A couple things real quick before we go into what people would say why we haven't put whatever on. Again, we didn't do digital for two reasons. One, because that's a different category in a sense, and I like playing with physical games sometimes. But the digital stuff, you can do that. Tabletop Simulator, very specifically, I'm very cautious with that one because Tabletop Simulator has mods for it, and a lot of those mods are not approved by the companies that are on there. They're quote-unquote pirate mods in a sense. For example, I saw Vital Lacerda saying that many of his games are on it, but he did not approve of that. So I'm cautious to promote that for that reason. While like Tabletopia and other websites, they are licensing these games from the companies, or at least got permission. So anyhow, what are games, serious games that you think should be on this list? Tell us, and me and Z will tell you if you're right. Or if we think you're right, because we're, again. So
yeah, we're just throwing out some good guesses ultimately, that we think would work using things we've played before, obviously, or maybe situations from before to reflect on that.
What about Say Anything?
Let me think. Say Anything. Everybody has to throw one in. You'd have to figure out a way if somebody wrote exactly what you wrote, you wouldn't know who completed it first. So that's a minor thing. It's doable. Yeah, it sounds doable.
I might just take that part out, Z, the first person to do it.
Yeah, I guess just rewrite
Now, I
it.
do know a lot of people are doing this one online, Wavelength. That one definitely can be done online. That's a new party game.
Sure, yes.
Let's see. Wow, people are giving us a lot of options here. Let's see. Detective? I don't know. That's a lot of information.
You need to be looking at the website. I would just try that solo, honestly. But together remotely, you could technically play over the phone and a cat. Oh, gosh, I don't know. It's too much. You need to see the computer, I think. I think you need to see all the same screen, same computer.
There's also audio and stuff. Maybe.
It might be frustrating.
Castle Panic could work. I believe all the cards are open information in Castle Panic.
Yeah, yeah.
Wits and Wagers. I didn't put Wits and Wagers because the betting is, you would have to be constantly saying, everyone would have to say it every turn. Okay, I'm going to put 4 chips on this. Because you're supposed to bet all simultaneously.
Yeah.
and that would be hard to do.
Yeah, that sounds annoyingly cacophonous and chaotic. Yeah, no.
Diplomacy would work if you like that horrible game, but you might as well just play on one of the many different servers that you can play it on. The Crew? Maybe. I don't know that I want to play any trick-taking game. I guess you could.
You can't do it. You cannot do it.
Oh, no, you're right, because how would you split the cards up? Never mind.
No, you cannot do it. I mean, if you set up literally 4 cameras or 3 cameras around the table, yes, you can do it with one deck. But with everybody having their own deck, you'd have to tell me which cards you drew for me to remove them and draw. It doesn't work. Like the amount of technology you need is ridiculous. At that point, just launch yourself to Mars.
Flashpoint Fire Rescue is good. I felt like there's a little bit more pieces being moved around in it than there is in, say, Pandemic, because they're in the same family. And if you're going to do that, you could also just do either what are the 2 other games from Matt Leacock? Forbidden Island and Forbidden
Desert. Yeah.
Let's see here. Ricochet Robots, that definitely can be played online for sure. Oh, saying the same game multiple times in all caps is 100%. I won't say it, just as a heads up. So this is one I thought about, Z, when I was making a list. Someone says the Resistance here, and I thought about Werewolf too. I think Werewolf could easily be done.
I think so, except for how you as the werewolf decide who dies. None of the roles that require tapping on the shoulders would work. None of the roles that require... Yeah, but when I tell everybody to close your eyes...
No, then when everyone closes their eyes and I'm like, okay, who dies? And you just do this.
I guess so, yeah. That's true.
Of course, you better know everyone's name pretty well.
That's it. You have to know everybody.
There's one guy who comes to our convention, Z, this is a kind of an offshoot here, but he brings a little laser pointer with him. And he pings people that he's going to kill if he's the werewolf.
Okay.
Which I always thought was a cool thing. He doesn't have to move. He just holds it real small, and he just hits him. And the moderator knows exactly, because they'll point, and then I always have to go behind a person and you mean this person? Because I'm never sure who they're exactly pointing at.
Yes, I know. That's true. I like that idea. Laser pointer.
It's not in their eyeballs, people. It's not in their eyeballs. Azul is not one I thought of because there's just too much. It would really slow the game down, and Azul shouldn't be that slow.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Let's see here. Rising 5. There's a lot of card drawing in Rising 5. Ghost Stories I wouldn't want to do because I wouldn't want someone else rolling my dice. As dumb as that sounds, like where it's time for me to attack the ghosts.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, Z, roll the dice for me.
Yeah, sure. I get it.
I feel like the game would lose something.
Tales, yeah, a little bit.
Tales of Arabian Nights, Z hates that game, but I think it would work because you just have one person read the book to everybody.
I also thought, and I almost put on my list, Liar's Dice. It would definitely work. Literally, everybody needs a cup and 5 dice. That's it.
That's true.
So you could just, as long as you trust everybody, you know what I mean? Just roll and look at it, and then you just go around. Trust
people in a game called Liar's Dice.
I think it has multiple levels. That's why I liked it as an idea. I probably would be my 11. So yeah, Liar's Dice I thought would be cool and really easy. You don't even need to point a camera down technically, if you just tell everybody what you got.
Alrighty. Well, like I said, people, there's a lot of digital implementations of games online too. I don't play almost any of them, so I'm not the best person to make that top 10 list. If we have some contributors for the Dice Tower who can, maybe they'll make one for you all out there. And meanwhile, have fun playing games. Stay safe, stay home, play games remotely for now.
Yep.
And maybe in a year or so, this list will not be as needed.
We can only hope.
So
that's fine. Yeah.
We got more live stuff coming tonight. Dice Tower chat at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, me and Rado are going to be going back and forth on his channel on Rado Runs Through at 2 o'clock, and then another live chat tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So we'll be doing that every night for the future. We'll let you know before it ends, but we have plenty scheduled, so stay tuned. And that's pretty much it, I think. So until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
Have fun gaming.